Okay, people, let me talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. So heading into week number 11, the Pittsburgh Steelers are undefeated. They're 9-0. They have not lost a game. They will most likely be 10-0 after the Jacksonville Jaguars game. Even though Jacksonville is competing a little bit, you know, they did almost beat Green Bay last week. Green Bay's a pretty good team. Jacksonville was in that game, but let's be real, people. Jacksonville, at this point, I mean, are you trying to win? I mean, because if you have an opportunity to get Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, I think you need to do it. As good as Gardner Minshew is, he's not one of those quarterbacks. I think that Jacksonville, if they're picking in the top 3, they're going to take a quarterback most likely, and it seems like the Jaguars are probably tanking. So we'll see, man. But listen, we're focusing in on the Steelers because as of right now, in my humble opinion, among all of the AFC teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers have the best chance to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC. I don't quite trust Buffalo. Buffalo's defense has been hit and miss this year. One minute they're really good. One minute they're super inconsistent. And I like Josh Allen a lot, but I don't think Josh Allen is quite ready to win a bunch of games in the playoffs. Let me say this about Josh Allen. I have one foot in on Josh Allen. I like what Josh Allen is doing, but I'm not quite all in. Baltimore, I saw Baltimore face Pittsburgh earlier in the year. Lamar Jackson, he's not proven to me that he can win big games in the playoffs. I can't trust Baltimore to beat Kansas City. I've seen them face Kansas City over the past 3 years. They've lost every single time. Patrick Mahomes owns Lamar Jackson. The Titans, they don't have a pass rush. And while the Patriots and Colts are pretty good, they're not dynamic enough on offense, okay? You know, New England's very limited at wide receiver. In fact, New England might not even make the playoffs. You know, they're a fringe playoff team. The Colts, while they do have a pretty good defense, their offense is limited, and I don't think Philip Rivers can keep up with Patrick Mahomes. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, by default, are the best team in regards to who can knock off Kansas City. They're the best bet. And it starts with Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger this year is one of the top 5 MVP candidates. He's having a great season, 66% completion percentage, 2,267 yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 103 passer rating in 9 games played. And 3 of those interceptions came in 3 of those 4 interceptions, pardon me. He's thrown 4 interceptions. 3 of those 4 interceptions came in 1 game versus Tennessee. So Ben Roethlisberger, he's been playing great football. And this Pittsburgh Steelers team was 8-8 last year, and Ben Roethlisberger missed 14 games due to injury. So they're a 500 ball club even without their star quarterback. And now you insert Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, they probably become maybe the favorites to come out of the AFC if Kansas City doesn't exist, okay? Ben Roethlisberger makes a huge difference. He's great. He's still among one of the 10 best quarterbacks in all of football. And we look at Kansas City's offense. Yes, Kansas City does have the 2nd-ranked offense, but Pittsburgh's offense is ranked 4th in the NFL right now. They're right behind Kansas City. You look at Pittsburgh's wide receiver core. You know, can you strike back against Kansas City? Because when you look at Tyreek Hill, you look at Travis Kelce, you look at Mecole Hardman, you look at Sammy Watkins, they're going to put up points. They're going to make plays. I look at Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson, rookie Chase Claypool, who's a star in the making, James Washington, and Eric Ebron at tight end. The Pittsburgh Steelers have more than enough weapons to keep up with Kansas City. Not to mention the offensive line is among one of the best offensive lines in the entire NFL. And while the run game is a little bit of a question mark, I think James Conner is good enough to get you by. I'm not a big James Conner fan. I don't think Pittsburgh's running game is dynamic, but you're going to need to throw the football down the field to beat Kansas City. You know, I don't think that you can beat Kansas City, you know, just controlling the clock and hoping you can run the football effectively on them. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, you know. But in reality, I just think that when it comes to if you're going to beat Kansas City, you're probably going to have to win a track meet because Patrick Mahomes and that team, they're going to put up points. But really, I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and I think their defense has a formula they can follow to slow down Patrick Mahomes. Because you look at TJ Watt, Bud Dupree, and Cameron Hayward on that defensive line, boy, is that a nasty defensive front. Minka Fitzpatrick at safety, Joe Hayden at corner, along with Steven Nelson. That's a pretty formidable secondary. And the way to slow down Patrick Mahomes and beat Patrick Mahomes, listen, before I get to that formula, It's hard to stop Patrick Mahomes point blank period. You're going to need to hope some things bounce your way just because Patrick Mahomes is by far the best player in all of football right now. He's so deadly. He's super accurate. Has a big time arm. He makes good decisions. He's as close to a perfect quarterback as you can get as we speak today in 2020. But if you're going to slow down Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, what you need to do is you need to drop 7 into coverage. You know, you need to rush 4 players on your defensive line and hope they can get home. And when Patrick Mahomes makes a mistake or two, you need to capitalize. Okay, when Patrick Mahomes gives you an opportunity to intercept his pass, you need to do it. Okay, because you cannot afford to drop interceptions and not get turnovers when Kansas City hands them to you. Okay? And we saw the Patriots earlier in the season do this exact same thing and slow down Patrick Mahomes in the Kansas City Chiefs offense. They dropped 7 into coverage, they rushed 4, and they made Patrick Mahomes beat them. They said, Patrick Mahomes, we're going to force you to be patient. We're going to force you to make great decisions. And if you beat us, hey, you beat us. But they rattled Patrick Mahomes in that Chiefs offense. The Los Angeles Chargers, they did the same thing. They dropped 7 in the coverage. They rushed 4. They got home. And they affected Patrick Mahomes. The Las Vegas Raiders did the same thing, and they found a way to upset the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. And as good as Patrick Mahomes is, he will give you opportunities to make plays on the football. Patrick Mahomes, according to Pro Football Focus this year, has 9 turnover-worthy plays. Now, Patrick Mahomes only has thrown 1 interception, but when you look at the 9 turnover-worthy plays, that just goes to show you he's making mistakes, but defenses are not capitalizing on those mistakes. So that's how you're going to have to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers had that blueprint to do so. You know, you look at the 49ers. They had a very good defensive line in the Super Bowl. And if Jimmy Garoppolo, you know, makes the throws that he needs to make, the 49ers defense did more than enough to stop Patrick Mahomes and that Chiefs offense. Okay. And I understand Pittsburgh has been an inconsistent team all year. Pittsburgh has struggled to beat the Broncos. They struggled to beat the Eagles. They struggled to beat the Cowboys. But they're still undefeated, people. It's very hard to be an undefeated football team 10 weeks into the season. And Pittsburgh right now, they're still undefeated. And for what it's worth, they've beaten Baltimore, they've beaten Tennessee, and they've beaten Cleveland. Those are three teams that very well could make the playoffs in the AFC. And you look at the Chiefs' point differential. The Chiefs are plus 93 as far as their point differential on the year. Pittsburgh's at plus 100. When you look at Pittsburgh across the board, they have the best chance to beat Kansas City. And let's not act like Kansas City is a lock to win the Super Bowl. Kansas City barely escaped the Panthers. They struggled versus the Patriots, and they lost to the Raiders. Should the Kansas City Chiefs still be the favorites to win Super Bowl 55? As of right now today, I'd say so. However, don't think for 1 second that Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers are not threats to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Pittsburgh Steelers very well could easily win Super Bowl 55 if they bring their A game come playoff time. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God-blessed day, and I'm out.